Shalom. Good morning, family. To all of you Israelites scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. To all of you that are tuning in this morning, we just want to wish you a very pleasant good morning. This is the day that the Most High has made, and we are going to rejoice in it. I want to take the time this morning to speak to you concerning the topic, the deliverance of Israel. Been having a few difficulties with my streaming. First time that I attempted to do YouTube in a consistent way, and I pray that all will go well with this stream. I hope that I would say something that would encourage you along life's highway. Again, Israel, I want to tell you that we're on a journey that we just can't quit. We're in a fight, and we can't stop. Not until the journey has been completed. Not until the battle has been won. There's a lot of challenges for the Hebrew Israelite. We've been challenged for 400 years. We have been confronted. We've been contested. We've been called everything but a child of God. Right, event? We're known by bywords instead of our names. And so we are accustomed to that. But the thing is, understand why that there are certain people that are going through certain things. And I'm talking to you, Israelites. I'm not talking to the Israelis. I'm talking to the Israelites. And when you understand who you are, where you come from, you can understand and you can prepare better for the journey. In a nutshell, the Israelites are the chosen children of the Most High. We are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are the result of a promise made to our ancestor Abram in the book of Genesis, Genesis chapter 12. We'll start in verse number 1. Genesis chapter 12 and verse number 1. That's who we are. In Genesis chapter 12, the Most High appeared unto Abram and told him to get from among his kinfolks and out of the land in which he was born into a land that he was going to show him, and blessings that he was going to surely bless him. Now, when we look at the result of this promise, we can't help but understand that as children of the Most High, that we got something coming to us. Now, the promises were fulfilled. We got everything that was promised, but then we kind of sidetracked the promise. We actually forgot who we were. When I said we forgot who we were, we went into a situation where we were just disobedient to the Most High. We did not do the things that were commanded of us. And as a result, we ended up being scattered throughout the world. Not only were we scattered, but we were also cursed. And Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 16 through 16, we read of those curses that came up on us as a result of our disobedience. Now, once we were disobedient, we encountered the curses. Get a chance to go there, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 1 forward. But we are, in reality, the promised seed of Abraham. I told Abraham, I'm going to make you a nation. I told Abraham that in the seed all the nations of earth would be blessed. He told Abraham, I'm going to bless them that bless you. and I'm going to curse them that curse you. And so when we look at the history of Israel, and we understand the connection that Israel has to the Most High, and we understand who the Negro is, we get a vivid picture of him in the book of Genesis, Genesis chapter 28 and verse 68. Genesis chapter 28 verse 68 simply says that he was going to take us to Egypt again by ship, by way of which he spake of. We should never see it again. And there we should serve our enemies as bondmen and bondwomen. You know, sometimes we get this mixed up. Very simple scripture, but we have a tendency to get it all twisted. Notice he said that we were going to serve our enemies. But we have understood it to mean that our enemies are our friends. And as a result of that, we find ourselves in a situation where we just can't get it right. So much confusion. And I find it amazing that we would encounter this confusion, because all it takes is just a little reading, a little following of instructions, and the end result is that we can see clearly the ways that the Most High set before us. Then again, we find ourselves in a position where we are not able to follow simple instructions. And so then our enemies become our friends, and our friends become our enemies. We have a tendency to reverse it. And as we reverse it, it puts us in harm's way. It takes us off course. Put us in a position where we, as the children of the Most High, cannot find our way. And because we can't find our way, we have a tendency to sit back and relax and watch other people give us our history. And I find it amazing that everybody is fascinated with us and they're taken by us in terms of who we are, our origin, and our characteristics. Everybody writes books about us, except us. They say we come from Africa. And you know, it always began with slavery. That's a good place to begin, but let's begin with the right slavery. The right slavery that we want to look at in regard to our origins has to do with the slavery that was in Egypt. Now, we had many slaveries after that, but that's a good place to start. Because if you start with that slavery, what you're going to do, you're going to end up about on course like you ought to. And the confusion will dissipate. But we're going to have the patience to actually do what we need to do. We're going to have the patience. Because if we don't, what's going to happen is that we're going to find ourselves on this journey in a state of confusion. And we're going to be asking people, which way is Zion? Some of us don't even get that close. Some of us have, which way is heaven? But in either event, when we find ourselves in that predicament, there's a need for us to do better. But sometimes we won't do any better. And the reason that we won't do any better is because of the fact that we got lost from the door. Somewhere looking around life's curve, we got lost. And that's a bad thing to get lost. and not know you're lost. But if you get lost and you know you're lost, you have some hope. So again, this is what has happened to us. Now we're going to Genesis chapter 12. We're going to begin at verse number 1. We're going to validate some things. We're going to set up some things here. Listen now, Ahiah had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, from thy father's house, unto the land that I will show thee. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great. And thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curses thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Now, what I'm sharing with you now, in the terms of the deliverance of Israel, is nothing short of the gospel for Negroes. That's right. Israel deliverance translate into, what does it translate into? It translates into the gospel for Negroes. Remember all those bywords that we have been called by? Well, Negro is a byword that's more honorable than the rest of them. That's one that we have been known to be called by for a long time. And so again, we kind of fit into that mode of name, the Negro. We check the history of the Negro. It's no different than the history of the Israelites. That's right. The history of the Negro is no different than the history of the Israelites. So you see, we're one the same, and we'll go through the motions to actually kind of work this up. And the way we're going to work this up is we're going to take it step by step. As we take it step by step, we're going to look at what the scripture said. We're going to validate what we say with the scriptures. So when we look at the fact that we have seen of Abraham and a chosen and called people, and then we understand what happened, then we can better find our place in the world in which we live, in the society that we find ourselves thirst in and among people that wants to identify us. They want to give us a lesson of who we are. I mean, it really doesn't matter, Everybody wants to define us. We got the Chinese, we got the Caucasian, we got the Indian. When I say Indian, I'm talking about those in East India. They want to define us too. Everybody wants to define the Hebrew Israelite. But in reality, we are actually the children of the Most High Yah. Again, I'm going to call your attention to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, and verse there is number 68. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. And we're going to look at what they say. I'm going to look at what scripture say. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse number 68. Now, I'm going to be reading from the revised name of the King James Version. The revised name. In case you didn't know, the enemy took the name out of the book. That's right, they hid the name. So again, you ever wondered why when you read your King James, it never in reality speaks concerning the name of the Most High, but rather it uses terms like Lord, which we're not supposed to use anymore according to the book of Hosea. Hosea said, don't call me Lord, call me Ishi. But nonetheless, we see Lord all through the book. So you ever wonder what happened there? What happened to the name? It talks about being blessed when we use the name, being blessed in his name, but nonetheless, King James would not let his name lead through the pages of inspiration. And that's because those that wrote King James has an agenda that does not include salvation for the Negro. And so again, when we look at what actually happened and the reason that they took it out, it puts us further and further into the dark in terms of who we really are. Are we really the people that our environment say that we are? Are we really those people? Are we somebody else? Now we're going to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16. I'm going to read this. I want you to read it with me if you can. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse number 68. And it's a very vivid description, and it points out the confusion that we find ourselves in even until today. There are some people today that have no idea as to who they are. They've given us several names by legislation. Whenever your name is changed through legal means in terms of your national identity, but we believe that now you're somebody special. As they used to say back in the day, you're a bad man. And so the government that we have affiliated ourselves with or have been affiliated with, especially in the United States, felt the need and felt compelled to change our names as to confuse us. At one time we were Indians, another time we were colored folks, another time we were colored people, another time we were Afro-Americans, another time we were African-Americans, and then of course we were always black, even though they call you a Negro, you are a black Negro. Even though they call you an Indian, you were black Indian with the N word. And so again, when you look at that, it must ring a bell within your heart to know that you're not an ordinary person. Because you got dignitaries, you got powers, you got principalities that works in such a way as to hide you. So I want you to know that on this journey, even though there's been challenges presented before us, stumbling blocks put in our way, that still, through it all, you shine through as the sons of God. That's why you shine through as the sons of God. When the Most High was bringing you out of Egypt, he declared with his own mouth who you were. But they don't teach that in the churches. They don't teach who you are. They are party to hiding who you are. And that's why you need to come out of those churches. Because they hide your identity. But in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 16, it said, and Ahiah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way of, I spake unto thee, and thou shalt not see it no more again. And there you shall be sold to your enemies, as bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy thee. See, that's the confusion. That's what we fell off the trail at right there. Because no matter how bad we've been treated, no matter how many of us have been harmed, no matter how many of us have been castrated, no matter how many of us even today continue to be murdered and shut down in the streets, we still can't see the enemy. We still think that he's our friend. But I want to let you know that the Most High has a plan to deliver us. Oh, it's murky. The water is murky. It's hard to see. But when this lesson is over, I hope that you can see it clearly. My time is fastly approaching, and I'm going to have to cut it. But nonetheless, I want to leave you with this. I want you to understand this. I got about 10 more minutes, and I'm going to be here with you. But I want you to know that you have not been placed in the presence of your friend, but you've been placed in the presence of the enemy. And through it all, we still think that he's our friend. What part of enemy do we not understand? I just want to know, because sometimes we find ourselves in a position where we're just continually, as they said, messing up. We're continually turning our backs and shutting our eyes and pretending that the evil that's befalling us is not really happening to us. Somebody has gone so far as to say, well, it's not the guy that's in that flesh that's doing it to you, but it's principalities and powers. What the hell you think one principalities and powers? Who you think front principalities and power? Now, once you understand who front principalities and power, then it's time for you to get back, Israel. It's time for you to separate yourself from those principalities and power and those that run those principalities and power. But instead, we run to them like they are free. We're deceived further and further. We go further and further in the hole because we don't understand who our enemies are. And the end result is just hard. It's difficult. But I believe the Most High can accomplish this. It's difficult to lead a horse to water, and he won't drink. It is most difficult to send your child to school, and they put all the crap in his head. And then you find out that his ability to do critical thinking has been impaired or taken away from him. It's hard to make that correction, but the Most High can make it. And on this journey, as we come to the end of this journey, let us be aware of who we are and the things that have befallen us. And again, I say, the things that have befallen us are the things that we brought upon ourselves. Because we used to be people, and we still are the people. But just like Humpty Dumpty, we fell off the wall, and we can't put ourselves together again. But the Most High is capable. He's able. But we're going to have to let him use us, guide us, direct us, instruct us, in order that we may get back. For he calls to us every day. But we have been engrossed and caught up in the affairs of the wicked. Yeah, we want him to be our friend. We want him to lead us. We want him to rule over us. And he has shown over and over again that he cares nothing for us. But yet, this is the state of Israel. This is why Israel needs to be delivered. This is why the Most High is going to deliver Israel. Because Israel has lost their way. Like I said in the book of Jeremiah 6 and verse 16. And he's talking to Israel. Stand in the ways and see. Wherein is the good path, and walk therein, and you shall find rest for your soul. You shall find that rest if you search for the good path. But most of us have been given a path with all kind of bridles and thorns and thistles, all kind of ditches and ruts. And we think that this is the way. We think that the more we suffer, the closer we're getting to heaven. And by the way, you need to look that heaven thing up, because that's a misconception, a misleading. I'm surprised that many Hebrew Israelite Mores are teaching our people that we're going to heaven. No, we're not not going to heaven. We're headed back to Mount Zion. That's where our salvation lies. It lies in the Most High, and He's going to direct us back to Zion. Ezekiel 36, Ezekiel 34, Ezekiel 24, Isaiah chapter 11. All of these testify that He's leading us to our deliverance. But guess what? He's not leading us to heaven. So again, we have received teachers that have misled us. We have received teachers that have not been informed. We have received teachers that have been trained by the enemy. And they continue to share with us those things that are contrary to our salvation. But Israel will be delivered. We look at the clock now. It seems as though the hand is a half a second from midnight. And we're still like delivered. And we wonder when and how it's going to happen. But I said to you, Israel, today, trust in the Most High. Look to Him for your deliverance, for He's able to deliver you and me and all of the Israelites and all of those that will be friends of the Israelites. Remember, He said He's going to bless them that bless us and curse them that curse us. Well, we've been cursed a long, long time. And the whole world has turned its back on us in terms of receiving us in kindness. Everybody hates Israel. Everybody hates the Negro. Nobody has a kind word for him. But guess what? They love his culture. And they love the inheritance that he's got coming. See, Negro, you got something coming for you. Yeah, you got something coming to you. Yeah, you've been suffering for a long time. But your suffering is about to end. Because the Most High is about to deliver you. As my grandson might say, He's fixing to deliver us. But you got to understand who you are. And you got to embrace your inheritance. What is your inheritance? Your inheritance is that which the Most High has given and promised first to our forefather Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then gave it to us, and we lost it because of disobedience. But now He calls us back. Isaiah 55 and verse 7. He said, let the wicked man forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return into a higher, for He will have mercy upon him, and to our Elohim, for He will abide in the God. So you got to come back, but you got to come back to the right God. You see in Deuteronomy chapter 28, all of that is there. That tells you that we're going to serve a God which our fathers did not know, which we do not know, the God of wood and the God of stone. We're going to have to turn that loose because we have nothing more than idols. If we want to be delivered, we're going to have to come back to the Most High, and we're going to have to walk with Him because He has promised us deliverance. He has promised us salvation, even from afar off. But we're going to have to turn these idols loose. The gods of our enemies, the gods of our oppressors, they got to go, got to go, got to go. They cannot stay in our lives and dominate our lives, and we expect for the Most High to deliver us. Even Israel will be delivered. The gospel, the good news to the Negro. I'm going to tell you this, and we're going to pick it back up later. You see, while you're running around here looking for salvation, and you're still getting shot in the back, you're still getting laid out, you're still being forsaken. They're taking care of everybody but us. Doesn't that tell you something? But you can't see it. You don't understand Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16, that you shall be sold to your enemies as bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy. You don't understand that. Oh, we're all the same. Oh, we're all equal. Yeah, you put equal into the pot. But you know what? If they catch your hand in that pot, they're going to cut it off. They're not going to help you, Negro. Your help comes from, how did the psalmist say? David said, I look toward the hill, from whence comes my help. My help comes from a higher. Now, if you're going to get any help, Negro, that's where our help comes from. And that's where how we are going to be delivered. I'm going to talk more on the subject, but right now time has really got me wrapped up. And I thank the Most High and all praises to Him for opportunities to come and to share with you this hope, this good news that the Most High has directed and has given to the Negro. Now, I'm going to tell you why I keep saying this to the Negro in the next session. Because most of you believe that, God don't have respect to persons. Big lie open to him. He is a respectful person. And that's why He has chosen you, Israel. So until the next video, we want you to continue to walk in the path that the Most High has laid out for us and continue to hope and to wait for the deliverance that He has for the Negro. But it's coming. But you're going to have to come back to it. Until the next video, this is Ben Israel on My Preacher. That's my channel. But we are encouraging you to continue to walk as you need to walk so that deliverance can be yours. Until the next video, may the Most High keep you. May He guide and direct you. May He open your eyes. And may He put His love in your heart for all of the Israelites. Love your brothers. Don't turn on your brothers. When the enemy comes to you and lie on your brother, know that really accept it and put him in a subjective place as though he's already guilty and he's never had a trial. And even sometimes when they have trials, they're tried by the enemy. You think the enemy is going to give you a fair trial? Stop jumping on the bandwagon with the enemy against your brothers. Until the next video, this has been Israel. My channel, my preacher, saying, Shalom, Shalom.